Hello, everybody. How's everyone doing on this Sunday, December 22nd? My name is Chris Wood. I am 52 years old, and I am a 5-year revenge, full physical identity theft victim with 100% proof through Lennox and Edmonton, Ontario provincial police, who are human trafficking, sex slavery trafficking, tortures, kidnapping, sex assaults, false arrest refusals, lies, time buying, cover-ups, having criminal Dr. Tatiana V, Margie V, Dr. Tatiana Vukadinovic. She is a very seriously dangerous doctor. She falsified my medical file to get me discriminated against, to get me medically blacklisted. 5 years of injuring, torturing, medical blacklisting, treatment refusals, discrimination, being falsely arrested to prevent me help, to prevent me proof of what has been taking place with me. Serious lung damage, serious brain damage, serious skull damage, serious kidney damage has been done to me. Mutilations. Ontario provincial police are guilty of domestic terrorism. They are guilty of treason. They are guilty of murders, attempted murders, and cover ups. Ex Chief or Commander, year 2019, he drove a white Jeep Wrangler. Before leaving Napanee, he had me shot on the corner of Bridge and Center Street, and then everything began on me. Staff Sergeant, years 2019, 2021, Shannon Cork, Robert Lucas, Constable Ward, Dave Weiss, Stacy, a mental health worker, was Napanee Daily Tea Company, now Kingston AMHS, Shelley Huffner, Spencer Mills 14716, and Robert Kane 7224. They are all very seriously dangerous, whether they are with Napanee LNA OPP now or have transferred to avoid arrest, charging, and lawsuits for the crimes that they are guilty of. I have tubes in my body that I have never previously had since I was shot. No surgeries either. I had not been to a hospital or a doctor in approximately 7 to 10 years prior to being shot. And then all of a sudden, thanks to Stacy and Dr. Tatiana Vukadinovic, Stacy's girlfriend, being at the hospital in November of 2019, the day of my CAT scan, and casting lies against me to get my file falsified, to get me discriminated against, to get me medically blacklisted. I have prevented medical help for 5 fucking years. OPP are guilty of having my mother stalked and killed. They are guilty of having my dogs killed. They are guilty of false arrest. They are guilty of extortion. They are guilty of kidnapping, criminal stalking, full mutilations, my full physical identity theft, all for revenge retaliation for me speaking of their human trafficking and the homeless exploitation for monetary gain at a place called the Morning Star Mission in Napanee. They have accomplices who are ex-inmates, ex-psych ward patients, drug addicts, sex offenders, child molesters, drug addicts, drug traffickers with and for OPP, and ones that are lacing fentanyl and selling it to commit overdose murders. OPP are guilty of forced suicides, which are being labeled as other. They are committing murders. They are frying people's brains with 100% proof, lobotomizing victims. Their accomplices who are untouchable and cannot be arrested in Napanee and who are guilty of murder and attempted murder and my identity theft with the intent to commit for free drugs, immunity, drop charges. A guy known as Robert Berry, he is a sex slave trafficker, he is a truck driver, and he is a possible serial killer. There is a guy named and his boyfriend as well, who allegedly has AIDS, and he is committing sex assaults and spreading his disease. There is another. One goes by Bill Woldridge. He has many alias names. He is approximately 70 years old, bald, glasses. He used to stalk children for ex-OPP chief. He is a serious child molester, highly psychotic. He is guilty of criminally stalking my mother. When he was stalking my mother, he was calling my mother mom. He thinks that he and I were switched at birth. He also thinks that he is my dad and Harry Potter. He has many alias names: Bill Woldridge, Bill Cooldridge, Bill Delarosable, James Bubbles, Stephen Mavis, which is the name of a wanted inmate escapee walk away, and also Robert Cross are alias names he uses. He is also associated to Russell Williams and a possible copycat of him. Blair Frederick Hardy, he is the leader of the Hardy Boys gang. He is also guilty of criminally stalking and being involved with my mother's death, December 20th, 2020. Him and Bill Woldridge, or Robert Cross, whatever his name is, are the ones that caused my mother's death. They murdered her with intent and still getting away with it. Blair Hardy, he is guilty of financial thefts and frauds, welfare, disability, pension frauds, insurance frauds, drug trafficking, drug lacing, rapes, and possible multiple homicides. He is the leader of the Hardy Boys gang and the one that runs OPP in Napanee, Ontario. Him and Bill Woldridge, they are the untouchable pieces of shit. Bert the Hitman Hustler, he is guilty of torture crimes on me. He is guilty of being involved with my identity theft. He is guilty of attempted murder. He is a sex slave trafficker. He is a sex slave to Robert Lucas. He is a meth and crackhead, highly obsessed and seriously dangerous. Jason Gimpy Two-Step Van Alstyne, he is guilty of identity theft with the intent to commit identity, disability, and insurance fraud. He is guilty of torture crimes. He is guilty of selling laced fentanyl to murder victims through the lacing and causing overdoses between Napanee and Kingston. He is guilty of attempted murder on me. Tyler Teabag Lake, he is guilty of torturing and killing my dog Runt in March of 2023. He's guilty of torture crimes on me. He is Robert Kane, #1 meth-fed little piece of shit. He is guilty of attempted murder with intent. Raymond LeBlanc, he is a child groomer. He is a sex slave trafficker. He is a criminal stalker. He is guilty of torture crimes on me and guilty of attempted murder. There is a Chris Brandt. He is guilty of torture crimes on me. He is guilty of brain injuring me, skull injuring me. He is guilty of attempted murder, and he is also family member to a cop. Sean McKay, he is guilty of being involved with my identity theft. He is guilty of torture crimes and attempted homicide on me. Harry Hartwick, he is guilty of identity theft. He is guilty of being involved with torture crimes on me. He is a child groomer. He is approximately 83 years old. He is guilty of very serious abuses on me as a child. He is my cousin as well. He is also guilty of attempted murder. His nephew Dale, obviously also my cousin, who is guilty of being involved with my identity theft with the intent to commit homicide for drop charges for a stabbing he committed against his wife or ex-wife's boyfriend a few years ago. 100% provable too with my identity theft and him. His boyfriend or husband, Tony Anthony Axel Rose Hearns, he is guilty of attempted paralyzing me. He is guilty of brain injuring me. He's guilty of torture crimes on me, attempted sex assault, and attempted homicide, and being involved with my identity theft with the intent to aid his boyfriend Dale in his drop charges. They are speedheads. They are child molesters. They are on the sex offender registry list. They are drug traffickers and rat informants now with and for OPP. Each and every one of them are guilty of murders and attempted murder. If they can commit full physical identity theft, torture crimes on me, framings, false arrest, how many others has it been done to? I was sold through OPP because of me speaking of their human trafficking and the homeless exploitation for monetary gain. And as a result, the injuring, the torturing, the medical blacklisting, Dr. Tatiana Vukadinovic, Lennox at Addington County General Hospital, along with Dr. Barton, Dr. Pritchard, Dr. Waldron, Dr. McGregor, ex-CEO Coverups, and patient relations are all guilty of torture crimes. They're all guilty of medical blacklisting, having me falsely arrested to prevent anything legal on them for the crimes they're guilty of. They are all guilty of attempted murder with the intent to commit and cover up with criminal negligence in intent in Napanee, Ontario. This is what happens when you speak OPP crimes. And no matter what you can prove, it will do no good. My legal rights, my medical rights, my human rights have been taken. Well, I am going through this. This whole side of my fucking head is completely and totally gone and changed. And conveniently, nobody can be arrested for anything in Napanee. So I hope this gets seen. I hope the public is aware. These cops are very seriously dangerous. These doctors are very seriously dangerous. And so are their fucking accomplices, because each and every one of them are accomplices to OPP. And they are, each and every one of them are guilty of murders and attempted murders and other very serious crimes. Like I said, as it stands, OPP, you are guilty of domestic terrorism, and you are guilty of treason as well for what you've done to me and possibly hundreds of others that have been kept up while your victims are being kept from help. You're guilty of ending a bloodline by doing this to me, you pieces of shit fucking bastards. Be safe, everybody. Love all, hate none. I'm going to wrap this up. I hope it's seen. I hope it's shared. Especially shared because it's very serious and important. These bastards are ending bloodlines, and they will get away with this like they have been for 5 years, including having my mother murdered and still getting away with it.